In short, yes, God is calling everybody to a single of seasonness. A season of singleness. Hey girl, what's up? It's just Jay here. If it is your first time that you are seeing my face, welcome to my channel. And if you see my face every single Saturday, thank you so much for returning back to my channel and watching my videos. I seriously appreciate you guys. So I make faith-related content all about being a woman in Christ in this century of ours that is very interesting. So I did a poll on Instagram where I asked you guys whether you want me to make a video about a series on being single or a series being in a relationship, and most of my girls said they wanted me to talk about being single. So I just thought I'm just gonna make a whole series out of this because why not? I have so much to say about this topic. So today we are going to be talking about whether God is calling you to a season of singleness, and if you already know that you have been called to a singleness season, what does that mean for you? God is not going to be like Oprah and sit there like, you're gonna have a singleness season, you're gonna have a single. No, you don't have to have a singleness, but you have to have it. No, I'm gonna break it straight to y'all. Every single person on the planet is called to a season of singleness before you meet the person that God intended for you to marry. When I talk about a season of singleness, I mean being single by choice. So if you are only single because guys are not showing any interest in you, nobody is pursuing you, you don't have a Valentine, nobody's trying to date you,
I'm gonna die alone.
That is not actually a season of singleness because you are not single by choice. I promise you, if a guy waltzed up to you right now and he asked you to go on a coffee date with him or he asked you to be his girlfriend, the chances are that you're probably going to say yes because you're not actually in a season of singleness. What a singleness season actually is you physically deciding that you are going to stay single until God sends you your husband. It really doesn't help that you are in a singleness season, but that season only lasts for like 2 weeks because then the next best guy waltzed in there and then suddenly you're in a relationship again. And now you're like, oh no, I had my season of singleness. I'm a whole new person now. I fixed myself. I don't have any baggage anymore. I'm ready for this relationship, girl. God is telling me that this is the one.
1 week later.
Okay guys, so he like broke up with me. So I'm like in a season of singleness now. Like I have to work on my goals. I have to focus on myself. I have to... Oh, well, hello there. Stop! Being in a season of singleness is 100% a mental thing. It really doesn't help that you're in this season of singleness and you're still looking around. You're still scouting for potential. So what girls are actually saying is, yeah, I'm like totally in a singleness season right now, but only till the opportunity for like a relationship or a hookup knocks on my door, and then I'm like out of my singleness season because 2 weeks was long enough. That is a sign for my season of singleness to end now because an opportunity presented itself. Girl, I hate to break it to you, but a season of singleness is more likely to be measured in years rather than in weeks. And you also have to understand that every single time you go into a relationship, your season of singleness is starting all over again. So you can't be like, oh, I was single for 2 years, I had a relationship, and now I'm going to be quickly single for like a month because I was single for 2. No, it doesn't count anymore if you were single before that relationship, because you have this new relationship with this new baggage and new problems that made way into your life, and now you have a whole bunch of other things that you have to deal with as well. Trust me, girl, this is not me sitting here like, oh yeah, I read a book one day, or oh, I talked to my friend that went through this and I think this is what you're supposed to be doing, and me sitting here preaching to you. No, I am talking 100% out of experience here. God took me through every single thing that you're about to experience. I've experienced it. I know what it's like to be single. I know that it sucks. I know that sometimes it's great. I know that sometimes you struggle. I know sometimes it's wonderful. I know that you feel lonely. I know that sometimes you feel like, okay, God doesn't have a person in mind for me.
I'm gonna die alone.
I've been there. I've done that. I get it. So I was also for a very big part of my life single, but not by choice. When I was in high school, guys just weren't interested in me. I never had a guy try to pursue me, take me on dates or anything like that. And then at the end of my high school career, when I was in matric, I got involved with a couple of guys. I wouldn't say dating, but I got involved with them, and I did end up going into a relationship in my matric year. Horrible relationship. That's one of those relationships that you shove it to the back of your mind and you never really talk about it. We dated not for very long, like a couple of months maybe, and in the middle of my matric year we broke up. And obviously, you know, even if it was a terrible relationship, I was still devastated because I was just like, oh, you know, even though he's a terrible person, I do believe that he's the love of my life. We all think that at a point in our lives with some guy, and then 3 years after you're like, girl. But it was after that relationship that I just decided I am done. Dating is not worth it. And the sooner that you realize that, the better for your heart and for your mind and for your sanity, because we all realize it at some point. At some point, everybody's just like, okay, I'm done. Don't let it take you 10 or 20 heartbreaks to come to that realization. The more relationships you get into in your life before you actually meet the one, the longer your seasons of singleness is going to have to be, because every single relationship, it just piles up on that baggage that you have. I mean, we all have issues, like we're people, we have issues, and now you go into a relationship that adds some more baggage, and another one that adds some more baggage and more baggage, and if you were in like 20 relationships, you have this heap of baggage that before you can actually deal with your own issues, you have to deal with these relationship issues as well. If you crossed physical boundaries in that relationships as well, like you slept with a guy, then obviously I don't even have to tell you, but the baggage and the pain and the trauma is just going to be so much harder. So that's just going to make that you have to stay in that season of singleness even longer. Come to the realization now that dating is not worth it, okay? Waiting for the guy that God made for you and wants you to marry, so much easier, so much less stressful, so much less drama. You don't even have to experience it. Like, I've experienced it and I can already tell you it's not worth it. So after this relationship, it was in the middle of my matric year, I actively decided by choice that I am going to be single. The moment that I went to university, suddenly every single guy on the planet was interested in me. And I don't mean it in like a vain,
oh, I'm so pretty and every single guy wants to date me and like me, and
no, I mean this in a way that the devil was trying really, really, really hard to destroy that season of mine. You have to understand that the devil doesn't want you to be single. He wants broken hearts, broken relationships, and the devil knows that if you go into a season of singleness, you are going to become a powerful, powerful woman of God, and you're going to have an even more powerful marriage. And the devil freaking hates marriage. And that's why I'm telling you now that you can't go into a season of singleness with the mindset of still scouting for potential.
Maybe this guy is the one. Maybe this one. Like, I don't want to miss maybe I'm missing the guy that God sent to me.
You're not in a singleness season if you are still looking for potential. If your focus is still on guys, if your focus is still on dating and love and relationships and looking for a guy, then you can know that your season of singleness hasn't started yet. You can't go in there with that mindset, because opportunities are going to come along, and a lot of them are going to come along, and if you don't have the right mindset, you are going to go into that relationship, and that's exactly what the devil wants. You're literally falling into his trap. Nobody showed any interest in me in high school, and the moment that I decided to actively be single out of choice, everybody was suddenly interested in me. And I promise you, it's not because I had some sort of glow up. In fact, I actually got glasses. Not that I'm saying glasses are ugly, like I still wear them now and I think they're pretty cute. How I knew that my mindset was correct is because whenever a guy came up to me, he was like, oh, you're so pretty, I love your smile, do you want to go for coffee sometime? I felt irritated. I actually took major offense, and I was pretty disgusted, because I was like, the audacity of this man to actually come and take my season of singleness away from me. I was literally like, how dare he? And that is how I knew that I was in the correct mindset, because I wasn't about to give anybody a chance. I want to convince you to make that decision now, to go into that singleness phase by choice. And I'm making this series so that you can know exactly what you can expect that is going to happen from this. What is the purpose of you being single single? Why do you need it? How do you handle it? Why do we struggle? How can you enjoy it? I'm just going to take you through every single thing that I went through in this phase so that you can understand what this phase is. You don't want to waste your singleness. If you think it's just you being like, oh yeah, I'm single now and I'm just gonna wait for my man of God. No, I'm so sorry, but that's absolutely not what's going to happen. This is the hardest that you're going to work on yourself. This is literally a series dedicated to helping you to be single the right way. Next Saturday, I will be posting the second episode of this series, and we are going to be talking about defining your singleness, what singleness should mean, and how you're basically single the right way. I will see you next Saturday with episode 2 of Single Not Alone. Mwah.